and welcome to Do It Like a Dancer. So today's video is a request from a follower about planning, basically making a training plan. So how do you make a daily plan, a weekly plan, how much time do you dedicate it, and how do you balance, the different techniques, stretching, strengthening, all this kind of stuff. And it's a great question, and as usual, there's not a single answer to it. Because again, as I've said in previous videos, and I will say again, it absolutely depends on what you're trying to do, what your goal is. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to reach a professional level, so the amount of training that you need to dedicate per day is much greater, and many more days a week. Whereas if you're just trying to get fit, then it's a little. So I'll tell you what I do, and keep in mind that I work other jobs as well. I'm a professional freelance artist, so obviously I do. I have a job that requires me to go to an office 2 days a week, and I have various other, shoots and things that come up here and there. So my weekly routine is a little bit uncertain, generally speaking, but I do have a lot of free time. And I make sure that I do because I do still consider myself a professional movement artist, professional performing artist, and in order to maintain and continually grow my technique, I do know that it requires a fair amount of time commitment. So what I generally try to do is make sure that I do my exercises at least 5 times a week. Now, these exercises are essentially from my physio, and they're a little bit of shoulders, a fair amount of back, upper back and lower back, and the side back muscles. They're also knees and thighs and hips. So it's kind of a mix of these exercises, and they're literally just, repetition, press your hands together 10 times for 3 seconds, quadrilateral, you're on hands and knees, opposite arm and leg, and hold it for 20 seconds, change, so it's like really regimented. If I'm doing them very quickly, it takes me about 30 minutes. If I'm adding some other exercises in the middle of it, or maybe some stretching, it takes me 45 minutes around, or an hour easily. So what I usually try to do is make sure that in my weekly plan that I give myself a couple days or a day. I usually plan for 6 days a week, and it ends up being around 5 days a week. So I make sure that the plan is after I come home from work, for example, on Monday and Tuesday, I make sure that before I eat, I do my exercises, because after I eat, then I'm just like, I just want to watch QI and go to bed. So I make sure that I do my exercises before I eat, and I put about a half an hour, and this is just exercising. Then on the other days, at least 3 of the remaining 5 days, at least, I do a 2-hour workout at a studio. So this workout is usually about 30 minutes of warm-up, and that's mostly just movement, trying to, a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching, just trying to get the body working. And then from there, I'll do technique-based work. So sometimes that's a ballet bar, sometimes that's a center, and then either or, sometimes I do both, but sometimes I do the technique-based work, and sometimes I dedicate that time to improvisation, right? Where I put the music on and I improvise. So I'm working on my improvisation skills, but I'm also, during the improvisation, working on different things. Maybe I'm working on, I've gotten stuck in different habits of the way I use my arms, and I'm trying to change that, or I'm trying to work on my balance, or I'm trying to work on my quickness, or something like that. And then usually I keep about 45 minutes at the end for strength. And this is just, hip exercises, back exercises, and this is all directly strength-based training. So those are my 2-hour workouts. And then I for whatever day is left, I try for, you know, not necessarily at the studio, but at home, a good hour to an hour and a half. And those at home are usually just exercises, strength-based exercises and stretching. So when you're trying to make a weekly plan and sort of figuring out how to balance the techniques, I think that if you're looking to really advance your technique, then actually more strength-based training is required, because the more advanced your technique gets, particularly in ballet and contemporary, the stronger you need to be, the stronger and the more flexible. And so, you know, so at least an equal balance of technical work, which I would say are class exercises or style-based exercises, such as, you know, limon technique back bounces or ballet bars or something, and strength-based exercises, which are, you know, lying on your back and raising your leg over and over and over again, right? This kind of thing. This is directly targeted strength exercises. And then on the ends of that, you should always finish with stretching and begin with a warm-up. So depending on how much time you have, you know, then you can kind of figure out the amount of each that you're going to do. And the technical work, I would say try for 3 to 4 times a week. Strength-based work as often as you can, you know, even if it's just 20 to 30 minutes of basic exercises. The thing is that I've discovered is consistency is more important than long time. So if you're consistently doing like 15 minutes per day over a long time, you actually get stronger than if you do just like 3 hours one day a week, right? Because of the consistency, consistently building up strength. Part of this, obviously, making a plan and sticking to it is, you know, just ensuring that even if you like come home from work, as this often happens, and you're just like, oh, I really don't want to do my exercise. You just kind of bite the bullet. You're just like, no, I'm gonna do this. So at the beginning of the week, you kind of look at what your schedule is, and you make your plan that, okay, I know I'm gonna be busy this day, so on this day I'm only gonna put my 30-minute exercise, right? And then this day is not as busy, so this is the day that I can really take, you know, longer, like a 2-hour workout, for example. So you look at your week like that, and you kind of plan out how much time, and then within the shorter bits, you can do more strength-based exercises, and through the longer bits, then you add in your technical work. And now, finally, I just want to add that, you know, the technical work, the exercises, it's incredibly important as you're working on refining your dance ability and your dance technique. However, it also is important to add some time to play. So at least once a week, I make sure that I have my improvisation time to just put on some music and play around with movement. Because improvisation is super important, so it's good for you, but it also is just kind of fun to see as your body can do more and more things that, you know, it keeps you motivated and excited. I've also done routines where I do kind of 1 week on hard technique and 1 week on improvisation. So I kind of have like a play week where I don't do as much technical exercises, but I do kind of just a warm-up and get my body ready, and then play around for 30 to 45 minutes, and then I do my exercises at the end, the strength-based exercises. And then there are some weeks where I just warm up and then do my ballet bar, do my jumping, do everything, and then just go straight into strength, right? So this kind of alternation keeps me interested. I usually try to change up my workout every 2 weeks or so. So I'll do, you know, it's not important that you do a new workout every day. So I'll take the same workout, the same warm up, the same sequence of exercises, and do that for like every day for a week, for 2 weeks, something like this. And then, you know, try to change it up. So I keep myself interested and I keep my body moving. Because eventually, if you only do the same exercises, then your body gets really good at those exercises, but it loses strength in other areas, right? Our bodies do this. So it is important to change it up. Usually, like for the strength exercises, I do a mix of back, shoulders, hips, and leg work. I'll choose maybe 2 to 3 different hip exercises. You can find some of my library of hip exercises here. So I do make sure that I'm doing kind of different exercises, usually on a daily basis, but I do have kind of a set library that I draw from. But I'm kind of always on the lookout, you know, for here and there. There's some people I follow on Instagram, and I'll be like, I'll take some exercises and add it in and see what my body does, and if they're hard, then I'm like, oh, I need to do these more, and I'll kind of... This is how I approach it. If you have questions or comments, things you would like to know more about, do let me know. You can, if you like what you see, share it with a friend, like, share, subscribe on all the various YouTube things. If you'd like to find out how you can support me more, please go to patreon.com/Gillian Rhodes. I've just updated my benefits. There's some fun stuff going on there. And I will see you next time.